Hey everyone, it's me Shimon and welcome to episode 16 of yet another tech podcast. This week I've got a really special guest with me. It's none other than Szymon Kopeć from OnePlus. Yeah, it turns out there are multiple Szymons in this world. We'll be discussing about Szymon's time in India, Indian cuisines, MKBHD's blind photo test, OnePlus 7 Pro, including the DxOMark score and much, much more. So hop along for the ride. It's going to be really, really awesome. So, for those who might not know about you, why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Szymon Kopeć. I'm product lead in India for OnePlus. I'm with OnePlus for 3 years right now. Mm-hmm. Spent my first year in China and then moved to India to take care of our product here in our key market.
Oh, yeah, that's great. So, what's your current daily driver right now?
7 Pro, of course.
No surprise.
I'm using Nebula Blue, the 12GB variant.
The maxed out one?
Maxed out, yeah. Yeah, I have this privilege. So I've been OnePlus user since OnePlus 1, waiting for my invite. Couldn't wait long enough for OnePlus 1 invite, so I just bought from AliExpress the hydrogen version, just flashed oxygen on it. Wasn't a good idea, there was no warranty or anything. I just really wanted this phone. OnePlus 2, I waited for my invite, and actually I never got an invite, but they had like this half an hour gap of open sales somewhere in noon of some Monday, I remember, because I was at work refreshing this website. Obviously it crashed immediately because everyone was jumping into it. So yeah, and I'm lucky in position that OnePlus 2 was last OnePlus I had to buy ever since. OnePlus 3 and everything above I just received a couple of months before the launch as I joined. So yeah, it was pretty good spot for OnePlus fan to be.
Alright, so without any bias about the 7 Pro, which one is the favorite OnePlus smartphone till date?
This is it's more emotional question than technical, really, right?
Yeah.
Because for me, I think OnePlus 1 was the phone that made the biggest impression on me, because I switched from a non-OnePlus device at the time, and it was flagship for those times. But for me, the gap in performance at this point was just so massive. I couldn't believe this is that both things are called smartphones, but the one was really powerful, and the one I used to use before that seemed like a toy before switching. So that just changed my way of using phones, really. So I think that is by far my favorite. But yeah, I think with 7 Pro, it's a really proper flagship. I think that's a phone that is lacking nothing, and in every aspect it's maxed out. So yeah, I really enjoy using this phone, and you asked me in unbiased way, and I don't know if I can be totally unbiased. But yeah, I wouldn't pick any other phone over it, no matter the price and no matter the circumstances.
Okay, so personally, I still find OnePlus 3 to be really nice. I really like the design, whole unibody metal thing, and how cohesive the design was. I really liked it. Yeah. Especially in silver, when OP3 was there.
Yeah.
In 3D there was a greyish silver. I think it was called gunmetal, if I recall correctly.
I think so. Yeah, we had those different shades with different names. I don't remember them all, but yeah, I think it was a big difference, right? Comparing to 2, it was much leaner, and we introduced Horizon Light, and I think the grip was pretty good with OnePlus 3. Actually, the phone that changed a lot in perception of OnePlus, and especially in India, it became a first mainstream OnePlus phone, because still 1, X, and 2 were those geeky devices, right, or niche devices. And since 3, we became more mainstream with this elegant metal design, and yeah, I agree. The phone was pretty good.
Alright, so it has been 2 years since you've been living in India?
Yeah, more or less.
2 years. So how has the experience been, coming from not in India, now being completely in India?
I think there's so many stories, and it's so difficult to explain to Indian audience how it is to feel coming to India for the first time. So
has your perception changed about India before coming to India and now that you're in India?
Of course, yeah. I'm trying to not be person, to be driven by stereotypes or some perception of things. So I came here first time very open-minded. First time we came here was actually over 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago, and we just came for research. Before we established team in India, or we already had some small team in India, but when it comes to product and R&D, everything was driven from HQ. But we used to come here for researchers to, find out what are Indian customers like and why they like OnePlus phones. First time we came here with 3 other Chinese product managers. And like first experience was we landed in Bangalore and the road was so pretty. I don't know if you know how it looks, the road from Bangalore airport towards city. First 5 kilometers or so, really, really nice. So we were like, oh, this is really interesting. iPhone commercials everywhere, like these big billboards. And then we, from this road, you go to Hosur district in Bangalore. And then there was this guys driving this car with like open doors and like leaning toward these doors, and our cab driver who was laughing at them, we're like, oh, mental, and like having fun of these crazy guys driving on this road. And I was like, oh my god, is this how it is? And and you know what you hear about India is that, holy cows. I think that's one stereotype that came to be real, and I was very surprised. OnePlus experience stories in like city center, but first time we arrived there was just cow chilling in front of it. But so they were like first impressions. But I think what strikes me most after I moved from China to India is how friendly people in India are and how open, and everyone is so. First thing, like everyone speaks good English, which is very important for me. Never being able to learn Hindi, and I don't think I need, in fact. But yeah, people were very friendly. Food is indeed really spicy, but I really came to like India. As if right now I'm really happy. Like now we're living in Hyderabad, moved there from Bangalore, and I think India has really everything. The mix of cultures here and religions, where I come from in Poland, 98% of society is Christian. Of course, right now, like vast majority are atheists or just not caring much about religion. But when it comes to traditions and background, we are almost all Christians. While in India, this like mix is so interesting. Like now you have Ramzan, and there's so much great food, and you can experience Muslim culture, and then you have all those great Hindu festivals. Like Holi probably is everyone's favorite, right? So I think that's really amazing, and I think you guys cherish these differences very well in India.
Yeah. So talking about the food and all, do you have any favorite Indian food right now which you like really love? Like, okay, this is nice.
Yeah, it's changing over years. I think first, obviously, like, I think everyone coming to India for the first time, everyone I met, butter chicken with naan is like classics. It's like go-to. You cannot go wrong with it. It's not so too spicy. And naan bread, I think it's something everyone likes. Especially my Chinese colleagues, like they would eat naan bread with garlic and nothing else, and it would be good with that. And then I experienced pani puri and other street food stuff. Really good.
How good are you with spice? Like,
not good. Now definitely much better, but yeah, I was sick for the first couple of months the time, like just because of spice. But yeah, I think like even gobi Manchurian. I really like those. It's changing constantly. Right now, we're recording this in Delhi, and the Delhi food is also really great. And in Hyderabad, we have very good biryani. So yeah, I think Indian food is very good. Though I must say, Western food in especially Hyderabad is really bad. So that's a bit of my problem, because how we grow up in Poland, Europe is very small if you compare it to like India or China. So the mixture of cuisines is very major. In my city in Wrocław, we used to one day eat French, another Italian, another Polish, and another, let's say, Spanish. In India, you can mainly experience great Indian food, but then you want to get maybe some Western food, and it's never, at least in Hyderabad, it's difficult to find it how we know it from Europe. So that's one thing I would like to improve, definitely.
At least the situation is better than Delhi, because you get all kind of cuisine over here.
Yeah, I think Delhi, Mumbai, or Bangalore are pretty cosmopolitan in this way, and they're really good.
Since you're not good with spice, so I wouldn't suggest this to you, but have you heard of one chip challenge where they have one tortilla chip which is infused with Carolina ghost chili pepper. And like you have to eat it and then sit for like 5 minutes and not consume anything.
Wow, no, I have not heard it.
I tried it last month, I guess. It was horrible. It's something you shouldn't do, but also you should do at least once just to experience.
But are you good with spices in general?
Yeah, but it's way beyond your imagination. Anything you could ever imagine. I'm like, okay, how hot can it be? Because when I saw the videos about it, it was some foreign people, and I was thinking, okay, their spice tolerance is less, so maybe they are faking it. Or when I saw Indians' videos, they were like, maybe they are faking it because we are good with spice, I guess. But when I had it, no, it's way too spicy.
Yeah, I'm always curious, what's this show?
Hot Ones, sorry.
Hot Ones, yes. I'm really curious. I want to try those
Same
sauces to know for myself whether they are really so spicy or they're just... Because some of those guests are handling it really well till the last one, but some... I've seen like Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, he handled it nicely.
Quite nicely though, but he was swearing.
Yeah, of course.
Kind of his style, right? But, yeah, I'm really curious of it. There's this chain. I don't know if it's in Delhi as well. Social. I think you guys have it as well, right?
No.
Anyway, like in Bangalore, it's very popular. There are a couple of social restaurants, and they have those super spicy momos. It's like kind of a thing no one eats for pleasure. It's like you just eat it to kind of try yourself. My colleagues tricked me to having some, and it was like experience like nothing ever tried before. Like it was just literally.
Oh wait, you mean social?
Social,
oh yeah, it's here. It's multiple branches are here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pan-Indian, right? So yeah, I'm recommending you to try it, and then let me know if it's the same level of spice or this is still rookie thing. But yeah, that was spicy for them as well.
If you happen to go to Dehradun, I'm not sure if you've heard about it. It's somewhere north in India. So they have really nice Chinese food and the Asian cuisines. There's a specific place called Kalsang, I guess. I'm not sure how to pronounce it correctly, but they have amazing food. I tried the devil momos. It was like with gravy and it was kind of spicy but really nice. I liked it.
Yeah, I think that if you go north to like Nepal and regions below, right, south of Nepal, I think they like spicy food a lot, right? I mean, when in India you don't have spicy. I mean, I suppose Bangalore is maybe one of the best places for foreigners to, experience not that spicy food, but yeah, I think still.
So apart from like working from various different cities in India and like going for tours and all, have you had a chance to go on a vacation in India, like visiting some other place?
Yeah, I'm trying my best. Like we don't have much holidays. Like we have to really work hard to deliver those 2 phones a year nowadays. But yeah, for weekend trips to Goa or Kerala, I've been to for work. I have also visited a couple of places like Taj Mahal. We recently had like media event there. I've been to Jaipur for short holidays. Yeah, I think those places are really amazing. I especially like the coastal places, so like Pondicherry, Kerala or Goa, and I really dig the coastal food. And like there's always coconut, lime, and seafood somehow combined to it. Yeah, it's really good. And I think the vibe, obviously, on those coastal places is totally different than those big cities of India, right? Everyone is more chill, and everyone is the time is going slower, and everyone is more just enjoying their time there. So yeah, I would recommend anyone holidays in India. A couple of friends from Poland came to visit me, and they really enjoyed, especially like Goa or Kerala. It seems like a dream for us. It's affordable alcohol, beaches everywhere, lots of people from all around the world. So yeah, it's really great.
Poland is primarily very cold, if I recall correctly.
I think it depends. So in Poland we have 4 seasons, which is something I always took for granted. And then in Hyderabad, for example, we have super hot season and hot season and then raining season. So it's a little bit different. True. In Poland we have moderately cold winters, which go to, let's say, 0 to -5 degrees maybe.
That's moderately cold.
I mean, many people still in Poland, they're like Poland, Finland, maybe it's same, maybe you guys also have winter 200 days a year. But no, Poland is not like that. We have snow, let's say, for 20, 30 days a year, and summers are quite hot, like 25, 30 degrees. So yeah, I recommend for holidays at any time, because I think seeing like Polish autumn is really beautiful. Like we have lots of forests, and when the leaves go brown and they start falling, it's looking really, really nice. And springs are amazing because I think in India flowers are blooming most of year. In Poland, you can see the huge difference between when winter is ending and spring is starting. It's just such a refreshing feeling. Like,
yeah, because being in India, when I read about the weathers in school, I'm like, hey, that doesn't make any difference over here. It's literally every day that flowers bloom and whatnot.
Yeah. You know, we had when we were still learning India and we were still unexperienced, like 2.5 years ago, we came and there is this like research activity. When to know your person you're speaking with, you on like more philosophical or psychological level, you're asking them what kind of season of the year would you be if you were a season of the year, right? And we gave them those options like spring, winter, summer, autumn, and we didn't get any good answer, and we were like, oh, why is no one like understanding us? But yeah, then it's like so obvious, like it's not many regions in India, I suppose, would have this kind of division, right?
It's just summer, or you flip the switch and it's winter.
Yeah. But I suppose some regions like Assam, right? Or somewhere in north, it might be a little bit different.
Correct. Yeah, for them, like, they do have some changes in weather.
Have you been there? Have you been to like north?
I went to Guwahati once. Yeah, I was like there for a couple of days. It was nice. I think I went during summers, but still it was pleasant.
Yeah, everyone who went there to those like northeast regions, everyone told me it's so beautiful, and those hills and tea plantations and all that.
I went to Leh Ladakh last year. Have you heard of Leh?
Yeah.
It's amazing. You should like visit it once.
Everyone tells me that. How can I get there? Is there an airport over there?
Yeah, they do have an airport. So a friend of mine was like, hey, you should drive over there. I'm like, no, I'm not going to drive there because, okay, like you can drive, you can sustain the, tiring journey and all, but then you have to drive on hills and all. You might or might not be as experienced as a driver you can hire over there.
And I think you need a bike, right? You cannot take car there?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but then why would you risk driving there because the roads are so narrow?
Oh, that sounds like fun. Huh?
Yeah.
I really love driving, and I bought my car like in India a year ago, and everyone told me, oh, you will hire a driver in no time, like you will last a week. But no, like I really enjoy it, like when especially after, let's say 10 p.m. when roads are
clear,
more empty. Yeah. And Hyderabad has some really nice landscapes, like I don't know if you guys would find it nice, but for me, we don't have such hills and such rocks in Poland anywhere as there are in Hyderabad. So it's really interesting for me to see and just go around and explore it. So yeah.
I guess you didn't get much time to drive in Bangalore because traffic.
Yeah, in Bangalore I had like 4 kilometers from home to work, and it took me 45 minutes every day. If only there were sidewalk, I could just walk to work faster than drive there. Yeah.
So the meme is true.
Meme is true. Hyderabad is not much better, to be honest. Maybe a little bit better, but yeah, I suppose. Hyderabad has this. It's a pretty well planned city. Our office is in financial district next to high tech district, so I suppose they, did some big picture planning and decided this will be offices area, and it really is. There's so many new nice building growing. And I'm very sure as soon as all these people start working in all those buildings, they're finishing development right now, it will be as crowded as anything else. So yeah. The
building shown at the launch was really nice. I mean, the concept of the OnePlus building, that was really nice.
Yeah, the Hyderabad one, right?
Yeah, that was really
we were so surprised actually. Whenever we were preparing for a launch for like a week, more or less. So we were sitting with Carl going through this presentation and thinking about the upload moments where we need to make some break and let people enjoy this. And we thought definitely, stuff like DxO will be, or screen lighting up for the first time. Yeah, I think we kind of expected everyone to be happy, but Hyderabad we never expected. If the launch would be in Hyderabad, well, maybe, but it was like, I don't know if any of those people that attended this launch would actually go there. But yeah, I have never heard so much cheering during any of the launches as when we showed the Hyderabad experience store.
Yeah, Carl was literally bamboozled on stage because everybody was just clapping and they weren't stopping really.
Yes. Yeah, I think it was second launch of cars in India, so he's still getting used to when we did like launches in say New York. Audience is never as excited. Like never audience in any place is as excited as India. And this time like almost 4,000 people, so it's like totally next level for us for that. So it's amazing, like the feeling of going on stage and just showing people something that they love and they are so happy. This is next level, really.
So have you like attended like or presented at a launch somewhere like outside India, or have you primarily been only in India?
So I had 5 or 6 launches in India and 1 in New York for OnePlus 5T.
Okay.
Difficult to compare those different times of OnePlus. Like OnePlus is growing 100% every year. So then the 5T times, which is almost 2 years ago now, right? A year and a half.
Correct.
We had maybe 250 people in the audience, which of 50, 60, 70 from media or VIPs. So you know that media and VIPs, they remain more unbiased. They are not cheering or applauding, right? And then American users, they were still like, okay, I'll just sit here and you convince me. While Indian users are like, we love you so much. Please just bring us those phones. So it's different kind of approach, right?
So there's another pretty interesting story. Like around after the launch of OnePlus 5 and before 5T, Carl was in Delhi. So I don't know. I just got a ping from the PR. So they're like, "Hey, Carl is here. We'd like to meet him." I'm like, yeah, why not? Surprisingly, he knew me. Like we have never interacted in person before. Maybe on Twitter once in a while, and he recognized, "Oh, you're Shimon." Right? Like, what? How do you know me? He's a really humble guy. Like it was nice meeting him, and we were discussing about Oxygen OS at that time and giving feedback on OnePlus 5 and all. That was a really nice experience.
I think like being humble is like important virtue for OnePlus as a people making OnePlus and also for us as a company when we plan our strategy, and we have a couple of I think like important values, and I think being humble is one of them. So I know that Carl, he's always taking his time to meet media, like he's sitting with PR and discussing about who might come, who might not, what are their names, what do they work for. I think this is the kind of respect we should pay to you guys, as you spend so much time and so much efforts to try to understand us, so we should pay it back in some way. He's a recognizable person in India. I think he told me that India is literally the only place on earth where he is being recognized on streets like randomly sometimes.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow. So has it been a problem for even you? Like, do you get recognized on streets?
No, definitely not a problem. I would never call it as a problem. Like, those times after launches, like right now we are 2-3 weeks from launch, it just happens someone's coming to me like asking for a photo because they are OnePlus fans, and it's super nice. It's never a problem because it happens, let's say, once a week or something like that. So it's just amazing that there are so many OnePlus fans in India, and to an extent where they just not just love phone, but they also watch like launch events or some other stuff related to OnePlus. But I think especially from Carl's perspective, those meetups with users, they are a little bit scary in a term that everyone is very just everyone wants to interact, right? And it's many people, so it gets crowded in some smaller areas. But I cannot say Carl or anyone can really complain about it. We can just be happy that there are people who want to listen to us and people who are OnePlus fans in India.
So I was just being curious, like for every phone there's a development cycle of like years and years. So would it be possible to share like how much time did OnePlus 7 and OnePlus 7 Pro take?
So I think it's always how we look at development of phones is like it's not that just this one phone as like one project. It's like continuous project since OnePlus 1. It's like an evolution of each stage. So we are taking those learnings and taking those technology from those phones and picking up what we want to implement and what we want to improve in next ones. And there are so many different phases of development. Right now we are on phase of locking up requirements for the phone that will come in first half of next year. So that's more or less how the process. I would say it's between 12 to 18 months from the moment we start to think about next device.
Yeah, because I still remember like when 60 had the in-display fingerprint scanner, they were like, even OnePlus released a report like they were trying for 5T, but that didn't happen. They had a prototype and all.
Yeah. I remember for media briefing last time we took this prototype with us of 5T with fingerprint scanner.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. There's plenty of prototypes and plenty of different options we want to check before releasing phone. It was same with pop-up camera. Even for OnePlus 6T, we were already considering pop-up camera, but just wasn't ready yet. Like there's so much concerns about so many things when it comes to pop-up camera, right? How the dirt will get in, how durable will it be? Can it survive a fall? Can it survive a pressure or?
Did you see that tweet where someone was opening a bottle of beer, I guess?
I retweeted it today, yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah, don't try it at home, but I think pretty impressive. During the launch, we also presented this video, right, when the camera is lifting up 22 kg. We've done a lot of testing to make sure this camera will last. What do you think about pop-up camera? Like, imagine you have all the options and you're picking whether you want notch or hole punch or pop-up or bezel. What would you go with? So
earlier, because before I didn't know that 7 Pro was water resistant, I was completely against the idea of having a pop-up camera because I didn't want to lose the water resistant capability. So now that I know that it's water resistant, I'm totally fine with it. Yeah, might as well just use one. And hey, now that the camera upgrade has come, I would love to check it out, like how good it is.
Yeah, let me know. Yeah, I think we are still releasing, just today we released another update for, OTA update for camera. By end of this month, we'll have one more. So the software that's with the one that we tested with DxO, the one on which we scored 111, will be shipped to all users by still end of this month. So
okay, so the update which came today is not the DxOMark one?
No, it's not yet. So the differences are not really big.
Okay.
I would say maybe 5 or 10% higher image quality comparing to what we currently have. But yeah, it's still yet to.
So why was this fiasco then? Like, how the camera was already prepared for folks at DxOMark and then users have to wait. Like, was there a specific reason behind that?
Yeah, so it's first of all for some camera build to go from the moment when we finish developing it to the moment we can release it. It's a pretty long process because this build comes into the whole software build as a part. Like camera is not like some of the applications, I don't know, community app or launcher that can go directly through Google Play Store update. We have to, this is on system partition and it's system related, we have to include it in the whole system build and it has to go through with OTA. And this means it has to pass like very severe quality tests, and they are not just quality for image quality point of view, but battery drainage, performance, stability, all those things that DxO is just all about image quality, nothing else. But we have to make sure the standard of time from capturing from moment you press shutter button to the photo being there for you, and how much battery is it draining, how much RAM is it consuming. All these things we have to optimize before we can release, and then we are putting it into those software builds, and then we have to pass Google certification called CTS, and Google often has some smaller or bigger concerns about something. We have to address it all, repass it, and then at the end of the day we're ready to release, and this means OTA update, which also rolls out to millions of users, so it also takes some time. So yeah, the process is not as simple as I think many of our users think, but
because some people were ready with their pitchforks, like how DxOMark gave them a score of 111 and people were like, the photos aren't good. But yeah, some people are happy, some people are not, but happy to know that it's being fixed.
I think it's that's why I really enjoy the fact that there is such thing as DxO, because they just take those objective parameters that no one can really disagree with them, right? They are just checking the stuff that is like a fact. But when it comes to photo quality and all the reviews and all the users, it's all about users' opinion, right? Mm-hmm. Some people like those saturated photos, some like them more natural looking, some like more contrast, some like less. It's fitting into those tastes is very difficult, especially that we have to fit in taste of both users and media, and often it's very different. Like I remember, I think the one thing that opens many eyes is, do you remember this test of like Marcus Brownlee blind
the
test,
blinders,
right?
yeah,
where I think like BlackBerry won with iPhone and all those things that are really ridiculous if you think about it, right? But that's the kind of thing when you cannot zoom in and think about this for a long time and really compare those details. Of course, then it would reflect, let's say, those DxO ranking 1-to-1 more or less. Mm-hmm. But if you just see it on social media, you see, oh, this is brighter, this is less bright. Bam, I'm tapping on this one, right? And then you end up with some ridiculous results at the end of the day. But that's this first impression of users, right? Especially that no one is printing photos. If you print photo from those phones with DxOMark of, let's say, 80 versus 111, that will be huge difference that you will notice immediately. But if you just post stuff on social media and like Insta story that is already like, even like compressing those photos, and it's those differences are getting more narrow, and even for the first glance before you look into details, you see, oh, this photo has so much more contrast or more saturation or something, or you just focus on some one detail. Like when we do tests with our users, we often ask them like, take a just like quick look at this photo and showing it them for like 5 seconds and hiding it from them, and then take as much time as you want. And the results are almost always different because, for example, you have some portrait photo and user is just focusing on face, and for example, especially when it's their own photo, we often do that as well, that we first shoot photos of the people we interview and then ask them. They just look at their face and they think, oh, I like my face on this photo, and so immediately this photo is nicer than this one. But then if they have more time, they look at, let's say, edge detection, or they look at all the details of the background, and then they see the things that are pretty obvious, like, for example, you cannot see anything on the background of this photo. It's totally blown up, and this is very detailed, but first you just look into face and you already judge that this one is better. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's pretty interesting.
This first impression versus sitting and analyzing what's better is often very much different.
Yeah, the whole blind test was pretty interesting because you don't get to pixel peep. You had a window of like 10 seconds in Insta stories, so you had to like pick one of them.
Exactly. And you have so many photos to compare, you don't even take those 10 seconds, you like tap and then this next one, right?
So, did you expect, like, in that blind test, did any of your choices win the battle? I almost chose almost the wrong ones, always.
Me too, because I suppose you and me are spending lots of time thinking about it, right? And we look maybe a little bit closer and look at other aspects, and we kind of understand what are the difficult things, for example, HDR and proper shadows, versus what are the easy things, versus making photo brighter or stuff like that, right? So if we, I don't think people like us can look at this in a not tech savvy people way, just like regular customer way of first impressions. I think we always overanalyze stuff and think from other directions. Yeah, I almost always had those like minorities, sometimes within like 10% or 20%.
Yeah.
But if you look at those scores, like usually they were around 50-50 for most categories with some.
Some of the photos were like 20/80 and like what? And I was in the minority. Like, how can you not look at the other picture? That is perfectly fine.
True.
But yeah, it's different.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting, especially when we do like I think also Marcus Brownlee often is doing those blind tests when he's not revealing phones but showing in YouTube video like A, B, C, and to D. and then comparing and like figuring out which phone is which.
In those ones, I have pretty much chosen Pixel correctly. I can like recognize that photo is from Pixel and that one's from iPhone.
Yeah, I think Pixel has a couple of those virtues that are like, quite key for them and quite easy to recognize. But I think the difference between all those phones are getting really smaller, and I think for when we like a camera is a big focus, right? And for especially users in India, so there are so many reviews of it. But yeah, as a matter of fact, for end user, difference between camera of let's say OnePlus 7 Pro and even OnePlus 6T, which is for us so huge. It's like 13 DxO points.
Yeah.
It's not really that big, especially if you just put it to social media.
So talking about Pixel 3a, which was launched recently, the mid-ranger one, it's kind of dead on arrival in India because of the price. But what do you think about the concept that they have flipped everything? Like instead of pricing it less and giving you less specs, they're giving you a good camera but with inferior specs. What do you think about the concept, like how they have flipped it? Like if you compare it to Xiaomi, like they price it ridiculously low and like you get what you pay for the price.
Yeah.
And like you can expect like you won't get good camera quality out of like a 10,000 phone, but still, what Google is doing is you're getting inferior specs, but the camera is literally the same.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting, and I think for Google, especially for those Pixel phones, a lot of the good stuff going with them is around software, right? The sensor they are using, the 16 megapixel sensor, is not the comparing to let's say price of 855 versus 700 series chipset, and comparing this sensor with some cheaper ones, it's not that big of a difference, because really where magic happens for Google Pixel is with software optimizations of it. So I understand they remove it. It's very logical, like you mentioned, like the price maybe is not well fit for India market.
But people in US are loving it because they don't have Xiaomi over there.
True.
So that's why it's like a super steal for them.
I think in the US it might be a pretty good deal. But then if you also look at US market, it's very carrier heavy. I think that one reason why OnePlus is big in India is that here over 95% are off contract phones, right? In US it's totally opposite. It's 95% on contract. And then when you compare it really, and you have, let's say Pixel, it's $399 in US, right? Pixel 3a versus Pixel 3 XL, which is around maybe 600 right now. So if you divide it by those on contract, and so you're basically like $10 a month versus $12 a month, it's becoming no difference anyways, right? It's nothing if you are presenting it this way. So I'm very curious about how they will do in US. In my opinion, they wanted to do this phone primarily for other markets, primarily for those off-contract markets. And I mean, let's see. I think most of the phones in India, they're launched with prices that are over time getting only shrinked with all the cashbacks and all the buyback offers. So maybe in a couple of months, it will be more affordable.
Okay, here's a serious question for you.
Okay.
Are you subscribed to Pewdiepie?
Of course, yeah. I'm a big fan. I really like it.
The meme is dead now, like the whole T-Series versus Pewdiepie thing. But what do you think about his content, like overall?
I think he grew a lot over years, and he got a lot of shit from everyone for the controversies over time, right? So I think right now he's a way more grown-up YouTuber, I would say. His jokes are much softer, which I'm not a big fan of. I really like, I don't know if you know, like Jim Carr, for example, or George Carlin. Like this kind of comedy like makes me laugh a lot. So he became more politically correct, maybe, I would say. But yeah, I think he's a fun guy, and I think he is a good guy as well. I know he's done a lot of good stuff also for kids in India, and I don't think he was ever expecting this subscribe to PewDiePie thing to grow up so much. I know you're a fan of his, right?
Yeah, like his content is nice. It's people don't get his sarcasm, so that's why he gets more shit on the internet, because some people just don't get it.
But I wanted to understand it because I've read that India doesn't like him because of the T-Series versus Pewdiepie battle, or about some jokes he's made. He made a couple of videos laughing of some Indians on internet. I think that's how those videos were called. But anyone I'm speaking with, everyone's very chill about it.
Exactly.
So I don't know who is mad at him. Like,
it's probably the folks in, say, tier 2, tier 3 market, I guess, who got access to internet via Geo Revolution. Okay. So that's why T-Series is gaining subscribers, because those people are getting into YouTube because of the internet. And they're like, oh, especially because of the song Bitch Lasagna. So
oh yeah, I think the song is banned in India, isn't it?
Yeah, it's banned. It's even gone from Spotify. I had it in my library, now it's grayed out. Even Bitch Lasagna and Congratulations, both those songs are gone now.
Oh man.
It's catchy though.
It's really funny, it's true. Yeah, and maybe though. I don't know, have you heard about this? I don't know if this is true, I never researched about it, but apparently anyone new coming from India is automatically subscribed to T-Series?
That was a hoax actually.
Really? That was true?
Yeah, okay. Because people did try to make new accounts and they weren't subscribed to T-Series.
Makes sense.
Do you follow his subreddit? Because people there are really crazy and they were the ones who made new accounts and figured out, okay, no, this is not happening.
No, I'm not that hardcore of a fan to follow subreddit, but yeah, I think the why is my favorite show of his. So yeah, when he's reviewing subreddit, that's really fun. Yeah, I think this series is huge, and I was never realizing that they just owe all the music industry basically. Anything that's going on.
People are still under the impression that he's a gamer of sorts, but they don't realize that he's now a commentator, you can say. He just reacts to memes.
Yeah, he's not playing any games, right? Yeah, I had this conversation with someone. I told him I enjoy his content, and someone told me, no, but I don't like gameplays, and nor do I. I don't play any games, like we discussed before we went on there. I'm not playing anything, but yeah, it's just fun to watch. It's a really fun guy.
I really like his Pew News segment because he is informative there. At least he does his research and provides his opinion. Although in a facade, an alias Poppy Harlow and whatever. But yeah, at least he
researches. Poppy Harlow got fired.
Yeah, Poppy Harlow got fired. Everybody's mad at Mary Ham. The whole subreddit is on fire. They're like, fire Mary Ham. Bring back Poppy Gloria.
Yeah, I suppose he, if you think about it, he is a really smart marketer and businessman on top of it all. He really knows. We could hire him for PR easily. He really knows how to make good apology video. He really knows how to, talk about stuff in a way that people will understand. And
did you see his latest video? It was literally 10-minute ad for a mobile game.
Yeah.
People still watched it because he's there.
True. I mean, yeah.
He has really nice tactics. Like when he was in Japan, people were like, hey, his videos while he's traveling in Japan are still better than what he records at home. Because he told his editors to literally downscale it to like 720p or something.
That's one thing that you see so many starting YouTubers who are, I don't get enough subscribers because my camera is not good enough. I need to just first buy all this gear and then I will start really getting so much attention from everyone. And he is recording with his calculator basically and still being the most successful, right? That's just the content, right? So
talking about this content and all, you watch some Indian, I heard that you like Sacred Games on Netflix. Yeah. So do you watch any other Indian series or something which caught your eye?
I've been to a couple of movies, what was the one, the super controversial one called, that they delayed the premiere by months?
Padmavat,
yes. Mm-hmm. Though it wasn't without subtitles, so I had to kind of understand from context more or less what's going on. It was a really good movie. Mm-hmm. I watched it later with subtitles to really understand. Mm-hmm. I'm not a big fan of Bollywood.
Same.
Yeah. So, I met this actor, and he introduced me to some of the more niche scene. This kind of movies that don't go to cinemas in India, but are there somewhere online, for example. And I really liked it. I think there's so many talented directors and actors, and I've seen a couple of I think Netflix really opened this industry a lot for India, right? A couple of good stuff. I don't remember all the titles, but like Delhi Crimes, for example, or Ghoul, or there was this short movie on Netflix as well, like more comedic one. I think they're doing a really good job. We met Netflix team, and they are. I think they have way more to bring still for Indian audience, and I think Sacred Games is, as you know, it's huge right now in India. But I think this will just be a beginning of like good quality India content for those online streaming services. I'm pretty sure that Amazon and Hotstar will also come up with something of their own in those terms, less singing and more
True.
killing or drama.
I'm sick of those singing in movies. Like, it's unnecessary. But
I'm just not fan of romance in general.
Yeah, same.
And I think all the Bollywood movies, or at least most, are somehow around it, right?
So apart from any Indian series, are you watching any other ones?
Oh yeah, I'm just finishing Mad Men. I started watching it years ago. Game of Thrones, of course. But have you seen last season?
Nope, I haven't started a single episode. I've seen only one episode, and that was the finale of season 7.
Don't do it like that, please. Just start from the beginning and watch it.
No, my cousin was watching, and I'm like, hey, what are you watching? It's Game of Thrones. Okay, I just saw it, and apparently it was the finale of season 7. But I heard that they completely ruined the show in the last season.
True. Yeah. Till this episode number 3, like Battle of Winterfell, I think it was good. And then the last 3 episodes is like, basically a recap of something. Like everything was happening so fast. They were relocating from one place to another in a matter of one cutscene to another. And then, I don't know if we can spoil it.
I'm pretty sure everybody has watched it right until now.
The ending and the basically happy ending and everyone going their way. With some purpose, and it's just not the way it was and not the way it's supposed to be. And I've seen some interviews with George Martin, and you could read between lines that he wasn't happy with the way it ended. Basically, from the point when they were not based on his books, but just the screenplay, it went down in my opinion. So but I guess I have hopes for those prequels they are shooting right now.
There's a prequel being shot right now?
There will be like 3 prequels.
Oh,
of course, you have to catch on it. You cannot just finish most successful ever series and just like, we are done going our ways.
That's interesting. So have you watched Chernobyl?
It's on Netflix as well?
No, it's on HBO, but piracy.
Okay.
But yeah, you should see its trailer. It's really nice. It's around the radioactive incident that happened in Chernobyl. It's pretty nice.
It's like a documentary or?
It's a TV show.
Okay.
It's just like that. So it's a fictitious, but it's pretty nice.
Yeah. Was after Chernobyl accident happened, were you guys also in India like influenced by it? Like you had to drink some special stuff?
No. I don't recall
I guess
it.
it's too far from.
Yeah, it's too far.
Or maybe you're too young.
Yeah, maybe. No, I don't remember any such thing.
So yeah, I was still not born. It was 1986, I believe. I'm born 1991. But my parents and everyone told me stories about how weird stuff were going on from some mutated animals in Poland. Poland is not so far from Ukraine where it happened. To everyone had to drink some weird chemical substances, and like government was just delivering to each homes because the radiation even in Poland was above the scale of being safe because of this accident that happened a couple of thousand or kilometers from there.
Still pretty scary.
It is really scary.
Do you watch any superhero TV series like Flash and all the different series?
I'm not really a big fan of superhero movies. Of course, I'm a big fan of cinema in general, and in India there isn't so many choices for someone who doesn't speak Hindi. So obviously there are Avengers and all that Marvel series, DC series. So I'm up to date since I moved to India with all those. Have you watched the last one, the Endgame?
Yeah, of course.
Did you like it?
Yes, I did. But if you ask me about comparison between Infinity War and Endgame, I prefer Infinity War. Because the payoff in Endgame is in the third act. So it takes a long time. Like, if you're waiting for what happens to the conclusion of the movie, then Endgame is nice. Otherwise, I still prefer Infinity War. What about you?
Yeah, me too. I think Infinity War was entertaining all across, and Endgame you could basically go after intersection and just watch the second half, and you'll be fine with that. I think it was just too long of a movie to be able to focus on all of it.
So talking about OnePlus 7 Pro, like if you had to sell it to someone, how would you like pitch it to someone? Like, what is 7 Pro all about?
I think it depends who are you all about, because I think it's a really complete package. I think the thing about it is if you're a gamer, I can tell you this performance like on no other phone. If you're a photographer, I can tell you have 111 score DxO and like the most versatile camera you can imagine. If you're like consuming content, watching videos, we have 2K screen with 90 hertz and really beautifully looking without any obstruction in form of notch or anything else. So I think the one thing about it is like really all-around phone for everyone.
Mm-hmm. It's really interesting because once you use higher refresh rate, it's really difficult to go back to 60 hertz. When I used 144 hertz on a laptop, when I came back to mine, I was like, what? What is this? Is it lagging or what? It was really...
That's the thing about technology, right? Like once in a couple of years, there's something coming that you use for the first time and you know you can just not use anything else ever from this point onwards. Never. It's like when you get your first car and you drive it and you feel this freedom of just getting to it and going whenever you want, wherever you want. You cannot go back to, I don't know, public transportation, for example, right? And I think it's same with 90 hertz. Like first time I've seen it, like just scrolling through stuff and then I switched to some other phone because we have to still like just compare with others to see what's up there in the market. I think this difference is huge by itself to really keep it.
Is there a specific reason why a curved display was chosen over a flat one? Or is just for aesthetic purpose, like hey, it's symmetric from front and back?
Yeah, we always had the horizon line, right? Horizon line we call this edge of display at the bottom, and when we could have horizon light on front as well to make it like it looks so beautifully symmetrical. And I think with this 90 hertz screen, if any content is swiping off from let's say left side to the right, it just looks so beautiful. Like it just feels so immersive. Yeah, that was the I suppose main reason for having an edge-to-edge display. It's just
okay. Here's the interesting part, like how both of our names are literally pronounced the same, Shimon, right? So when Dylan was on stage, his name is pronounced as Dylan?
Dylan, yeah.
Okay, so when he was on stage, he mentioned your name, like you listened to Arijit Singh. You wouldn't believe how many friends of mine messaged me the whole video, like, did they mention your name? Was they talking about you? Like, no, not me. But do you listen to Arijit Singh?
No, not really.
Or was that just a joke?
Just a joke. I wasn't even aware he would say that before that. He didn't consult with me.
So, what artists or what genre of music do you listen to?
Electronic music mainly. Flume is my favorite artist. But yeah, in India I also discovered some really nice music, like Nuclear, for example. I think he's really good when it comes to electronic music, or F16s, pretty decent like rock band. Yeah, I think you guys have many like talented artists all across and really good music. Maybe I don't think much of Bollywood music, but
same here. I strictly don't listen to Bollywood music.
But tell me about your name. I'm curious about that. Like how, because I suppose when you tell even Indians, my name is Shimon, they don't hear that name often, right?
My name is butchered since childhood. Even when it comes down to pronunciation or even spelling, it's always wrong.
Where does it come from? What's the idea from your parents?
So I was told that it's a French name and it means the brightest star.
Okay.
But when I got access to internet, it turns out it's a Hebrew name and it means to be heard. So.
Yeah. So we are in fact the same name, as if like even origins are the same, because you know how it is in Europe, right? There's those all names have local language versions. So like Shimon was the Jewish in Hebrew, and Shimon is Polish, and Simon is it's British, right? And Szymon is German. Like every country has their own thing, right? So that's why when I'm introducing myself, usually I'm introducing myself as Simon, because Shimon is like, what that? Well, no one heard about it in this part of the world.
Yeah, it's always like, even since childhood, like someone invites you to a birthday party, you get a birthday greeting card or something. It's always, incorrect. It's like SIMON, SHEMUN, or something, weird combinations. But yeah, it's fun. Like, at least the best part is I get my usernames because no one has that name. So I get my new usernames.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to be unique, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose at Starbucks we are facing same problem.
Yes. So at times I just give up. I just say, if you can pronounce Pokemon, my name rhymes with that. Just call me Shimon. Alright, so let's wrap this up. Where can people find you on the internet?
People can find me on Twitter usually. I'm not active Instagram user, but Twitter, my handle is at my name, surname, Szymon Kopeć. I don't think from saying that anyone would really be able to replicate it. But yeah, I encourage everyone to follow all the OnePlus channels. I think we have lots of great stuff to check, to inform you guys, especially on our forums. It's like a primary way of communication with users. So I encourage everyone to be there. I'm also there, so you can also DM me if you have some good product ideas or anything you want to share with us.
Alright, it was nice talking to you, Shimon.
Likewise, Shimon.
Yeah, it's so trippy calling it like this.
First time in India ever happened to me.
Yes.
And that's all for this week's episode. I hope you liked it. And if you did, like, share, subscribe, do your thing. And hey, if you have any constructive criticism, comment, or any query, do let me know. Hit me up on Twitter, which is at ShimonIPS, which is SHIMONIPS. Or you know what? There's a new feature now. You can even send me a voice message on Anchor, whether it's from your phone or PC. You can just send in your queries and I'll get back to you ASAP. Alright folks, I will see you in the next episode.